Alright YouTube, I'm back. So I just got back from the fleshing machine. Got most of the meat off of this guy. Just a rough flesh. And now I'm going to show you the next step of the process. So you got to turn the lips, you got to turn the nose, and you got to flip the ears. Turn the ears inside out. So let's start with this ear here. You're just working the meat back, and then I'll get the ear turners and turn it inside out. You gotta do the rough flesh before you put it in the pickle, so that's what we're doing. And this is the dullest blade in the world, so we're not gonna be using that. There we go. Alright. Fresh blade is key. Alright. That's a little better. I'm just getting all the flesh and turn it inside out here. Then you want to work it back until you start to see the cartilage. Be careful, because once you back up, you can cut through very easily. So just take your time and work it all the way around there. Once you get back so far, you'll start to see the cartilage, so that's your sign to get the ear turners. See, I already cut a little hole. I can fix it. Like I said, you're gonna cut some holes here and there. It's just part of it. As long as you know how to fix it, you're good to go. Alright, so I got it to where you can start to see the cartilage right there. Now you want to get your ear turners. They sell these at McKenzie's. Must have, gotta have them. And then we're gonna push it up in here like this, behind the ear, and then these are like reverse pliers, so when you push down, it spreads apart and it pops the skin from the cartilage. And that way you can turn it inside out. If you listen, you can hear it. That's what you want. All down the edges, all the way to the tip of the ear. Don't do it hard, because you will pop through that ear. I've done that so many times. Alright. You get it all through, and then you just turn your ear inside out like this. You might have to cut a little bit more, a little bit of the skin and stuff, but just work it as you go. Alright, once you got your ear inside out like that, we're going to cut the earbud off. I cut the earbud off. You don't have to cut the earbud off, but this is how I do it. So let's go straight down right there. Cut your earbud off. The ear liners I use has the earbud, so that's why I do it like this. There's your ear butt. And then you just want to kind of clean it up a little bit. And then make sure it's like right here. See how there's a line? Just spread it apart because you want it all the way at the end of the cartilage. You want it all exposed so that tan can get in there. If it's not opened all the way up, then there's going to be some spots where the tan don't get in, and you don't want that. We'll clean this other side up here. Some more meat off. Like I said, this is just the rough flesh. Once you tan, you do a final flesh and get all the rest of that off. So you want it to look something like that. Alright, now let's go to the nose. Your nose cone. And then you want to cut. Alright, so you see right here is nostril, right? So you want to cut about right here and open the nostril up. Don't go up here because then you won't have no skin. Cut right there on both sides, right? What that'll do is it'll open it up. And then you do that on both sides. And then you cut all the way around the nostril. Just leave enough skin to tuck into the form. Getting all this off. Just kind of working it off the nose here. Right now I'm just getting the main part of the cartilage and stuff off. We'll go back and get the rest of it. Alright, got the cartilage off. Now, let's split the lips. So, you see the skin right here on the deer. The skin, we're going to open this up on the top and bottom. Gotta have that skin. You just want to go through and open it up. Said there's a lot of work to a deer mount that people don't notice. You gotta skin it off the head, then you gotta sit here and do this and get all the flesh off. Then you gotta tan the hide, and then you gotta neutralize the hide, and then you gotta thin the hide. Then you finally get the mount. You gotta bondo the antlers. You gotta prep the form. You gotta cut the form out with a Dremel. There's so much to it that you have to do. A lot to do. But you want to do it like that, open it up. Right at the corner of the mouth, just leave about 1 inch, so cut the rest of that skin off. Don't need it. And right before the mount, you also trim it up too. You gotta, you know, probably 1/4 inch, something like that. Just opening the bottom lip right now. Probably going to go live tonight fleshing some hides if you guys want to check me out. Go hit that subscribe button and check my lives out. I mount deer on lives, I flesh hides on lives, I do finish work on lives. So if you're interested in taxidermy, interested in learning taxidermy, go check me out. Have any questions, just write in the comments and I'll definitely answer them. I always get the hide all twisted up because I'm always spinning it around. Alright, make sure you get the lips all the way turned out, so just run your scalpel, right, not hard, just nice and easy, and open them up. They're pretty easy to cut through, the lips are, so you got to be careful. But you want them all the way opened up there. As you're doing like this, like when you're skinning your deer, pay attention to the ear muscles. Pay attention to the nose muscles. You know what I mean? Pay attention to all that stuff, because when you go to mount, you're trying to create that. So the more you know about it and the more you study the real animal, the better taxidermist you'll be. So that's what I do. I look at all this stuff on a deer. Everything. Nictitating membrane, ear muscles, how the nose looks, everything. And every deer is different. So alright, so I got the lips turned inside out. Alright, so you got to flesh all that. I'm not going to do it on this video, but you know, you just take all the flesh off, and then take all the flesh off the nose, all that stuff. We already turned the ear. Now we're going to put the nose cone on the eye here, because the fleshing machine that I just used, you can't get up tight to the eye here, so you just do it by hand. What you're doing, you're just getting all the meat off, all the way around the eye. Getting them fleshing and all that stuff, longest part of it. When you gotta do the final flesh and get all that meat off. A lot of fleshing involved. Especially if you have a whole bunch of deer to do. Some animals are harder to do. Flesh, you know, like fox and coyotes and stuff. Kind of working it down just like you was the ear. Just be careful. Cutting a hole in the eyeball. Got the tear duct right here, be careful. Right there's the tear duct right there. I just get all the flesh off, and then right before, after it's tanned, I'll sew the tear duct together. Just makes a tighter fit. You want tear ducts, you want skin to skin on the mount, so you don't want no gaps. You'll have a little gap, you fill it with epoxy sculpt, but not much. Just continue to work it down here. You'll get to where you can see the line on the eyebrow. That's what you're going for. And when you get all the way down, make sure you don't cut the eye skin inside. Make sure you're just cutting the flesh off. All right, looks something like that. Like I said, we'll do a final flesh, but that's the idea about what you want to get. So if you look at a deer eye, you see that black line right there? I don't know if you guys can see it, but let's see. That black line right there? That's the nictating membrane. So that's what we have to recreate because we cut that off. But alright, so we turned the ears, we turned the lips, we turned the nostrils, we thinned the eyes. We already fleshed the whole hide on the machine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pickle together and I'll show you guys how to tan that. That'll be on my next video. So make sure you subscribe. I'm going live tonight around 6:30 Eastern time if you want to check me out. And thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a good day. Bye.